Hey everyone! I'm feeling sassy today, so I had to put on my Oaklandish hat, which I wear every single day. Totally obsessed with this hat. And my earrings that one of my Devil Up friends, Taggy Lee, gave me. I feel so fabulous. I love this pink color. Yes, okay, so I am here to talk about mom guilt today and about entrepreneur guilt, which to me are like woven into each other. And I have a little mini training, impromptu training for you on the 6 shifts that I made and that you will have to make in order to crumble your mom/entrepreneur guilt so that you can actually grow your business to its fullest potential, but without ignoring your children, which I think some of us think that we have to like choose, like either be a successful business owner or be a good mom. And I think that's where it starts to get a little bit mucky for a lot of us. So if you're here watching live or on the replay, can you comment right now and tell me, like, do you relate to this? Do you have mom guilt? Is this an everyday thing? Is this just every once in a while? Like, talk to me about your relationship with this topic. I want to make this just like dial this right in, this transmission just for you. So let me get out my notes here. Uh-oh, hopefully I didn't lose you. There we go. Okay, great. Okay. So first of all, I want you all to know that actually one of the biggest blessings of my life as an entrepreneur was having children, because it forced me to do business differently and to grow my business differently than sort of the way society teaches us to grow a business. So, we're all living in sort of like the old paradigm, this like very masculine way of do, work, sort of like block everything else out in order to grow your business. And all of us are swimming in that swamp. And so whether or not you like it, you've absorbed some of that. It's like I was talking about today with some masterminders I was doing a presentation to. It's like we're all swimming in that sea of the busyness Olympics, like, oh, I'm busier than you. No, I'm busier than you. This is how hard my life is. No, this is how hard my life is. And it's sort of like almost like a badge of honor of like how hard we work. I think a lot of us even have our value really like tied up into how hard we work. And even like we sort of justify, as a business owner, a small business owner, we justify our salary by working as hard as anyone else, if not harder, and honestly, that puts such a cap on your business's growth when you start playing that game, because your business needs you to be a leader. It does not need you to be sweeping up the floor. I'm telling you, like every organization needs a leader, and you are the leader. So you have to figure out this whole swampy mess of hard work equals success. I have to justify my success by working hard. No, and I'll just put that aside. We can make that another live stream topic at some point. But today we're going to talk about the mom guilt and the entrepreneur guilt. So let me tell you what it feels like to be a mom. It is like, when you're living in that old paradigm and you haven't yet sort of rebelled against it and created your own new world that you're living in. The feeling is like, oh my God, if I'm not with my kids and I'm working on my business, oh God, I should be with my kids right now. Or even you might have the experience, especially right now, working from home, where, your kids are like pawing at you while you are on your computer. And so there's this feeling of like a tug, like towards the kids while you are trying to get some S done, while you're trying to do something, which can be torturous. And then on the other side of it, when you do take time off from your business, which, for any entrepreneur out there, that's like a hard thing for us. To me, that's like advanced spiritual work, is like taking time off from your business, from growing your business, because our businesses are like our babies. They're like extensions of us, at least at first. And so in and of itself, that's like a gargantuan piece to take time off. But oftentimes when you do take time off, you might be in your head running a story about how, oh, I should be working on my business right now. Oh God, I could do all that. I could do that. And so even though you're like with your kids physically, you're sort of distracted and future planning of like, maybe I could just steal away and just do those couple of emails, And I know this very well because I played this game. And I've also learned how to crumble that old paradigm mom guilt and really come to a place of ease with it with my two kids who are now 3 and 7. So I'm gonna tell you how. Here's how I did it. Okay, you ready? Number 1, I love how people are rushing. Can you please comment in here? I'm dying to hear what you guys are thinking about this. Like, tell me if you're relating to this at all. Okay, so number 1, I have gotten extremely clear in my boundaries between work time and family time. So part of what I do each work day, which I work 4 days a week, is I actually go to my office. And so they can't paw at me. They can't be asking me for my attention. It's like, no, this is work time for mama. And then when I come home, this is like the up level, is I don't turn on my computer. Like I actually literally will sometimes take off my social media apps off my phone. I do not look at email all weekend. I don't even open it. So I'm much better now at clear, defined times in my week and in my day. This is work time. This is family time. And yesterday, Mondays I don't work generally, but sometimes for a couple hours I'll do a couple things, during Ruby's nap time or something like that. And yesterday I was trying to bang something out, and it was sort of infiltrating a little bit into family time, and they started to get at me, and I just closed my laptop. I was like, it's not time for me to do work right now. I can do that later. I do not need to do that right now. And so that's number 1. You've got to have some boundaries between work time and family time, as much for yourself as it is for your family members and your staff and all that. It's everyone needs to know what the boundaries are, when you're accessible and when you're not accessible. Okay, number 2, I always have opportunities to remind my 2 children that my work is part of how I get to take care of them, because every time I go to work, they're like, Mommy, I'm gonna miss you. Don't go to work. Don't ever go to work. We want you to be here. We want this, that, and the other. So they tell me this every day that I go to work. And so pretty much every day I have opportunities to remind them that my work is part of how I can be of service to our family. And I love saying that to them, because to me, it's not me going, I know, I'm sorry, baby. It's no, there's no apologies here. It's also me owning my value as the financial contributor at my family right now, the person who is paying all the bills, but also owning my value as a business owner, as someone who is making magic happen for y'all's little babies. Mama's going to make the magic happen. And I feel like there's a level of self-respect that I'm communicating to them sort of non-verbally, that I feel I hope they get it. Because I hope they have that for themselves. My 2 little daughters, when they're older, it's that kind of respect for themselves, that they can be a great mama. They can be an amazing business person. They can be whoever they want to be, and they don't have to play the rules that everyone else is playing around it. Rule breakers. Okay, number 3. Oh yes. This has been really big for me to enjoy the process of saying goodbye to my kids each work morning, and also saying hello when I get home at night. So instead of feeling all oh God, and oh my God, I'm torturing them or something, it's I'm not torturing them. They're totally fine. They're with their dad actually right now. So literally they have all the support, emotional and physical support they could need. But the truth is that I think a lot of us, in those transition moments, it just, it tugs at your mama, as your heart. When you hear your kids, especially your babies, when you hear your babies crying. But, when I used to drop my kids off at daycare before the pandemic, their daycare providers would always tell me, oh, Kiki, they cry for 2 seconds, and then as soon as you drive away, it's fine. So that helped strengthen my heart when I learned that about my 2 kids. But also now, so this morning, my littlest likes to wave to me after I get in the car, and then she likes to close the door. So she sort of stands there and waits for me. And my eldest was actually out the door doing it too. And I said to them, okay, the car's parked on the street, but I'll pull around and I'll wait. Well, I totally spaced out, and I kept driving down the street, and I realized, oh shit, I didn't do that. They're gonna freak out. They're gonna be so upset. So I just took a moment. I turned back around. I paused in front of the house and I was like, bye girls, I love you. I'll see you later. They were both just sitting there, just eagerly waiting. Like they didn't even notice that I had driven past them and forgot about them. And they were just so happy. And it just made my heart feel so good that they were just so excited to say goodbye. Sometimes when I come home, they like to sit at the door when they know I'm coming home, and they go in their little rocking chairs, and I just love it. So I allow for that transition process to actually be a fun process for me and not some sort of torturous process for me. And I think that my fun with it helps them to have fun with it also. Okay, the next thing is, I learned how to call in copious amounts of support so that I can feel assured when I'm not with them that their emotional and physical needs are met. So I have never been afraid to hire a babysitter or have a nanny, not a nanny, we've never had a nanny, but we've had childcare, daycare. Right now my husband is at home homeschooling them. And I asked him to do that. Several years ago, I was like, listen, I have some things I want to do in my 2 businesses. I'm right on the precipice, but I can't be the main caregiver. Are you up for this? And he had a minute to think about that. And then he came back to me and said yes. So that's something that I think a lot of us who are business owners and moms actually also really have challenges with, is asking for help, asking for support. And that has been a really big key to me crumbling my mom guilt, my entrepreneur guilt, and just having these 2 parts of my life sort of work together instead of feeling like they're at odds with each other. Okay, number 5, I have time and time again, I make this choice literally every day. I create sacred space for my own spiritual practice and my own exercise practice, which are sometimes tied into each other in my yoga and Pilates practice. Because this is what I've truly learned, is that my mental and physical health are vital to me showing up as the mom I want to be. And when I don't make space for, taking a walk with the dog or doing my kettlebell workout or, doing yoga practice or Pilates practice, when I don't make, that sacred time for myself each day, some days it's shorter than others, but every single day I do something for myself, then I'm kind of resentful. I'm resentful towards my kids, my husband, my poor husband, if I don't do that, and I'm resentful towards my business too. And I'm that's not the kind of energy I want to bring to these sacred relationships with my husband, my family, my business. It's I want to come into those relationships as a full-bodied yes to the experience. So that means I need to make a priority of my own body and of my own mental health and spiritual health. And so that has been really key for me and continues to be key every single day. For me, yes, Carmen agrees, totally. For me to crumble the mom and entrepreneur guilt. Okay, the last thing I want you to know is kind of the biggest thing. I'll take the biggest one for last. So the last one is so important. I had to let go of being the woman who does it all. I'm just going to say that again. I had to let go of being the woman who does it all. So instead of having to provide for their every need and also become $1 million business owner, which is what I'm tracking for this year, is I was you know what? Someone else can take care of that. I don't need to cook their every meal. I don't need to drop them off or pick them up. Someone else can do it. It's I will be there for them emotionally in a million ways. And I spend a ton of time with my family, let me just tell you. But I don't need to be their everything. And I don't need to prove to anyone in the world out there that I can do it all. I actually can't do it all, and I don't want to do it all. I don't want to do it. I don't want to clean my house. I really don't. And I have to tell you, this is the hardest thing about the pandemic, which I realize is a privileged thing for me, but is it's really challenging to have everyone at home when you have kids that are such slobs and then keep a house clean, But I feel that this is so important, and that so many women in particular in our society are living with this ridiculous pressure to do it all. And for me personally, I don't want that. I don't want to be a woman who does it all. F that. I just want to do the things that I want to do, And so by aligning myself with what brightens me, what lights me up, what puts me in my zone of brilliance, and then delegating all the rest. I noticed that not only can I grow my businesses, but I can be an amazing mom to my parents and really, and to my kids, and really show them what it is to be a human being who is not perfect, who doesn't have it all together all the time, but is showing up consistently and in integrity. Yes, and this is exactly the kind of nervous system freedom and permission I give to my business and energy mentees and all of my different levels of business mentorship that I work with my people in. You know, like there's a million business mentors out there that can teach you the marketing and the pricing strategy and like how to do this, that, and the other. I just had somebody tell me recently that like they learned all those like masculine pieces of running a business, systems and all that stuff. And one of the reasons they wanted to work with me, this new client of mine, is like I am embodying this other way to build a business. It's not that I shun those things. I love systems, I love pricing strategy, I love marketing, and I'm really good at those things. But also there's like a whole other world that most of our society and business leaders are not embodying. And it's so much more sustainable. You know, to me, it's kind of like those of us who are here to help co-create the new earth, which I think of myself as one of them, is like we can't create our businesses and our lives in the same old paradigm. We have to step into the new paradigm that is not depleting. It doesn't zap you of your life force because it's just endless to do. That's the old paradigm. Obviously, Mother Earth does not appreciate that old paradigm of depletion, exhaustion, do. So to me, it's like if we're going to co-create this new Earth, this new planet, this new society, these new values, then we have to do it in a way that starts with us, that's sustainable for us, and that is replenishing for us, that is soul nourishing, really. So this is part of why I created this new retreat that I'm leading on March 2nd through the 4th. It's called Nervous System Freedom, and it's for multi-6 and 7-figure spiritual business owners, edge walkers like me, who move between the worlds of, you know, like family, money, running a business, having a team, having a strategy, and then also into these realms of spirit, of connection to source, of intuition, of creativity, of purpose. And this is exactly what I'm going to be teaching in these 3 days in March 2nd through the 4th. It's really for the entrepreneur who has tasted 20K months but can't seem to sustain it. And it feels exhausted by all that she thinks she needs to do to actually make it sustainable. And this is also for the multi-6-figure earner who is still running on that old paradigm of success equals hard work and really justifying her value. Her health and relationships are now suffering from it. And this is also for the $1 million mogul who is always changing things in their business because she's more comfortable in her old patterns of busyness, which she, used to like grow her business, instead of resting into self-trust, patience, and really soul sustainability. So I want you to know in these 3 days, we're going to be doing the deep internal work to master these 3 pillars that I identified as really like the foundation of nervous system freedom as an entrepreneur, which, those of you who are entrepreneurs, you can know that this is true. It's like, it ain't easy to build a business. It will test you to your limits. And most of us kind of stay in that pattern of stress and panic that is often a part of the first few years of growing business for a long time. So this is about coming out of that by learning these 3 pillars of developing an unshakable core of trust and self-belief, which I'm going to teach you how to do on day 1, how to master time abundance and money magnetism, because the truth is like it's freaking stressful when your sales are not steady and consistent. And so you need to learn this, or when you feel like you're busy all the time. So you need to learn these skills. And then the 3rd day is about your daily practice, about prayer, about intuition, about getting information and acting on it, and about sacred leadership. So I want to invite you to message me if you'd like to learn more. I would love to tell you more about it and find out if you might be the right fit for it. I have just 8 more spots for this life-altering 3 days, and I would love to get you in there and help you carve out some time for this online training, whether you're working from home or maybe you want to get a hotel room. It's like we need to get all that in place now so that you can really uptake the medicine of these 3 days that we'll have together in March. So message me about it, and I hope you guys have a